guess, really, at this point.
Right, we're heading back into Haven now, Mitch. We're looking towards Mattistack on that defensive side. First, Valorando's on that attack, and just for a bit of clarity and contextualizing this matchup as well, Mattistack are currently first place in the group. Valorando just a little bit behind on number 2 technically, as Jasmine will be trying to make his way through double doors here, and surely there'll be 2 players on the other side to meet him.
Well, it's actually Taimu that takes the opening damage as Pan falls. He falls on back towards that A side. At least that's what it looked like. Even sending his drone through, which is an interesting investment from Asova in that first round. Great spam through the smoke as KZY falls. They haven't got a plant just yet. Luckily answering back with a bit of damage, but this is going to be hard to get the bomb down now the rotates are in.
Spikes on the floor as well, so they have to recover this one in a timely manner. Just 2 alive now. We're going to see what can Taimu do here with his old teammate Jesmindo as well. Both outside of B, and both the B players here, both Valorando attackers rather, are in a position to try and steal the spike away. Sim19 had noted that he struggled a little bit on this map defensively on the attacking side, though. Is there an opportunity for him to get this done? Spots ahead, won't make the connection. At this point in time, he doesn't even believe he has the opportunity. He wants to clear these angles, Mitch, but what's actually happened is Mattistack have exited.
They're very split up at the moment as well. Not really offering him any opportunity. And look at that read. They're so smart. Oh, they're not clean with the shots there from Jasmine, but he gets it eventually. So that was amazing logic. The assumption, if you're the player that's on B, is that they're going to be waiting for you to plant and pushing in afterwards. They were previously on middle, so that's obviously not a place he'll rotate through. So as soon as he picks up that spike, it's either A or C he goes for, and they make a very brave play by splitting up and covering those one by one.
And deliberate as well, because what we did see there was you nearly had Sim19 connecting a shot onto Taimu, and maybe Taimu saw that one, maybe he didn't, maybe he wasn't aware, but you know where he is. At that point, I still am surprised that decided to go to side sites. I guess what you just said makes it a lot more, I guess it makes sense what they were trying to do there. Ends up working out quite well for them in terms of defending and preventing the plant from coming on through. But a new round there, new opportunity. We'll see what we can do for this particular offense. I think if you're going to eco at any point versus an anti-eco, surely if you just break in, explode onto a site, steal a gun away, get a couple of kills, even if you have to trade 1 for 1, that could work for you.
Definitely. You know, for Valorando, we talked about it in the previous game, the explosive nature of... KZY's going forward with the spike by himself. The rest pushing in through the double doors. That's a great fake. The wall on the left side, immediately running back down. Oh, hasn't pulled out the Dragon Dart, so they know he's retreating. This is so smart from Valorando. The best eco round I've seen in terms of strategy in Valorant so far. They overrun the C site. They can get a spike plant already. That's a good round. They want to kill off the back of it as well. Jesmin gets in, not in time to deny that plant, at least finding himself 2, and now can just fade away and let his teammates clean up the rest.
Valorando need guns here. They need the ability to actually defend this one. They are in long. One rotator coming through, Sim19 in Garage. He needs to be the one to try and get something done, but he'll get nothing yet. And a major cleanup here for Mattistack, as sure the plant does come through, but instantly you saw the connections as land goes down. Most of his teammates stuck over towards long, only on pistols, remember. They can't really affect what's happening over towards the site too effectively. Not enough util. Maybe an incendiary coming from Eddie would have been ideal. But unlikely to actually get the kills here as we move into the 3rd round. And very early operators purchased by both teams.
Yeah, the Battle of the Scopes definitely going to be playing a pretty major factor. Now, I'm quite surprised there in the previous round that Valorando got so much done, but again, that was just an absolute pleasure to watch the eco round play out as it did. As we rock on in 2-0, Mattistack in a spot that they're going to be pretty happy with, but some weaker weapons, even despite that operator, still remain. Jesmond is one that, well, I would say has it, but had it, as he gets wall-banged immediately down by KZY. Niso tries to go back on the angle, but Aslan's too damn quick on that scope to put a 2-man advantage in favor of the attackers of Valorando.
Well, at this point now, Mattistack are in a little bit rough waters. Instant wall's going to come on through. Nicola suspects that he's about to be pushed. Still has 2 slow orbs, by the way. Close angles may favor him. Does he get checked? That's the biggest question here. Does he even get 1 kill? He's not going to be able to connect the headshots appropriately onto Eddie. And Matty is going to come on through, only to meet his death to KZY. So, as was mentioned there, the 2 kills over towards Garage really puts things into perspective for what Mattistack need to be able to do. They are still roughly defaulting 1-1-1 across CB and A, maybe moving an extra person over from A over to either B or C, but Valorando can go anywhere on the map. They rushed over towards C. Nicola tried to stop it, doesn't get a kill.
And with that, AVRL, we go back to a 2-1. Valorando in a position where they should be easily connecting a second as well. And that eco from Mattistack definitely doesn't look all too good. And that's one of the problems when you come in with some weaker weapons into those. You're playing it as a bonus, but also investing into heavier weapons. So you're never going to get it as clean a victory as you hope. Oh, Taimu. Well, you said he was good with the scopes. I'm glad you didn't mention anything about his ghost play. That was rather unfortunate.
That's not what you want to see out of him, unfortunately. He did a lot of damage. I believe he put down... yeah, you can see that Eddie went down to 15. Gets healed back up now by KZY. Even confirms one onto Jismin. So this attack is starting to look very good. Even despite Jismin getting the kill back on. Doesn't seem like he'll be able to do much. Nicola's been in this position before. He wasn't able to do much earlier on. We talked about ghost plays, but the Sheriff's not really doing that much better for the counterparts. So, most players will survive this one. 4 alive. Held on to the weapons. Now we'll have to see what happens in number 5.
This is really where the real fight comes through. I'm quite surprised, AVRL, that we're looking at Pan and Aslan on the attacking side pulling through with those operators. It's not every day you see a double op setup on the attacking side. Feels like it's just much harder. And even in Counter-Strike, where you can move a little bit quicker with them, but it feels very much like you're wading through cement with operators when you try to aggressively peek an angle with them in this game. And yet, we've got a double.
I mean, we'll see where they're setting up here. Specifically, we're looking over towards C and Garage. That's where they're trying to get their real value. They've already baited out a Cyber Cage. I don't think that should have been used by Niso, but that's just my opinion there. No real reason to want to drop utility and burn it early when he's not receiving that much pressure. Sure, you do have Aslan just taking pot shots through. He'll use it the cross at least, and Niso not directly challenging in the operator duel. He'll just try and hold the angle.
We're going to buy a little bit of time and see how long they can run down that clock for. Valorando looking to move in towards this side, over on the C side of the map, but they haven't yet picked up the spike. It's going to be a rotation on its way.
Fire in the hole!
Oh, nice shot by Niso. That was beautiful.
You can see that he even read the situation. He felt like, okay, someone used the showstopper. Surely they're going to blast back into the skies. Situation read correctly now. Sim trying to make his way over towards site. This is now the retake for Mattistack. They're rushing in. They got 4 members alive. They see the plays. They see the kills. And this plant is not going well. In fact, the plant doesn't even happen. It's the 1 kill from Eddie onto Jismin using the orbital strike. And that is all that the Valorando are going to get.
Wow, well, I mean, so they run down the clock quite a bit. They push up C long. Amazing shot hit by Niso. A second as well connected. But really, I thought Valorando had a good setup in that. I don't think they did anything particularly wrong. Pan popping the ultimate, I guess, made Niso a little bit scared of the play up in the sky. And all in all, it's a pretty important round to win. You know, they're starting to actually do some damage to the Valorando economy, and winning just this one could put them down to an eco.
I don't think they realized that Niso was also counter-sniping with the operator, so if they knew that, perhaps they would have thrown a bit more utility his way. I'm sure they had Sky Smokes remaining coming through from Eddie. They definitely had an orbital strike available. Now, like you said, waiting through concrete. We'll see if Aslan gets that done. We'll see if he's able to get that cement truck moving along. Certainly, he's going to be the one rushing straight onto the site itself. Bladestorm at the ready now. Jismin trying to hold location. Takes down Eddie. Will get traded. Spike on the floor, though. That is going to give the indication for Mattistack to all rush over towards me. Stop this plant coming on through where the kills at 1, resurrection, and a follow-up onto Niso makes this a Valorando potential win. And in fact, I do believe it will be Nicola 1v4, and I don't think he'll get 1. Well, I lie. 1 is okay. But a 1v3 though. Can a clutch actually happen?
He has his heal up at least and a res. So this is a very important fight now coming around from KZY, who luckily catches him off guard and takes him down before a res could come into play. And so we go 3-3. Valorando continuing to answer back and keep things nice and tight. And the issue coming in from Mattistack is that their money isn't fantastic, but they decide anyways to go in for the investment, pulling out some light armor on Nicola and Jasmine. Now, we saw in the previous that Nicola had all of his abilities with the exception of his wall still remaining, with Rez as well in play, and considering that every single player on the defensive side has an ultimate to work with, I think this is definitely a buy that I can get behind.
Well, Niso's going to be walking through with just a classic now, not even armor. And Maddie doesn't survive that opening engagement coming through from Aslan. No defensive operators this time around. They can't afford it, can they? So Aslan opening up the account book here for Valorando as surely the 4th round for them starts to look a lot more doable. Nobody's home at A. Resurrection for Maddie. I think that may be an expenditure, but I mean, they do have at least 4 guns. Timing not quite there. KZY will turn around. This is going to be great from him. He'll just need to line these up, and he certainly does. 2 headshots, quick as you like it. 3 versus 5 situation, just down to the 2. And these guys have to think about saving the guns. They don't have a lot of cash here.
Yeah, we mentioned that, right? Only 2 players had a 2K coming into it, even with Niso taking a nice light buy. That's a position now for Mattistack where, like you said, they have to save, really. As soon as the AWP, or the op, excusez-moi, as soon as the op kill comes through from Aslan, it was time to just save it out. They're hoping they could get a little bit of a bonus if some of the Valorando crew decide to exit in towards the defender spawn, but that's not happening. And so with a 4th on the board, Valorando, they look clean, they look good. Their attack certainly hasn't had too many flaws in it. And considering they lost the pistol and ecoed the 2nd, the fact that they find themselves in a position where they're in the lead within the first 7 rounds is pretty damn impressive.
That, by the way, is the most Overwatch-looking crosshair I've ever seen, Taimu. Congratulations. As expected. We like you, though. That's good. But for Valorando, I mean, we got a glimpse of this. We felt like Valorando was a decent team when they played up against Prodigy. Maybe it just wasn't their mat. Maybe they weren't feeling hot yet. Maybe they needed a little bit of a warm-up. They got that warm-up. They came in big versus... who's the team that I'm thinking about here? No, thank you. That's the one. Thank you for that. 13-3 was that result. So now they're in a position where surely they can put up some decent damage versus Mattistack. Can Aslan get that opening pick again, though? No one's really picking him this time. Especially not Maddie, who is just trying to smoke up mid for now.
So at this stage, Valorando have won 4 out of the last 5 rounds, and included in those are 3 bye rounds out of 4 that they won. It's a damn good scoreline. And I don't doubt the Mattistack have got to be getting a little bit worried. What they've got at the moment have not been the concrete, repeatable rounds. Jasmine uses his satchels to get out of there after missing the opening spam, finding only a marginal amount of damage onto Aslan. In fact, so little that KZY didn't even bother healing it up afterwards.
Patience needs to be shown here, Mitch. I don't know why he replies so aggressively. Use that positioning to try and get the kill later. Maddie, he finds his target of the KZY. That's what you want to see instead. Now if they're picking a flight, coming through from the defensive side, that's Niso using his ultimate. And now Maddie will teleport over towards Heaven. He'll be in position now to stop this push coming through Timer as well. Right, you have to get a lineup over towards 3. Well, at least get the first one. It's position reveal, but it doesn't matter. 1-for-1 trade is the minimum requirement here. Niso is going to get a 2-for-1. The orbital strike invested towards the end. Not going to help things out too much here, but it won't matter. As Valorando, they're not going to be able to claim that one, so the win streak is over for now, and the final orbital strike, they're kind of the nail in the coffin. The desperation play coming through from Eddie to try and get something going their way doesn't happen at all.
Yeah, you could definitely see the panic in Eddie's eyes as he just threw that down, calling it on himself. Hopefully allowing him a little bit of cover. In a way, it works like a smoke, you know, it's going to block vision. Maybe do some damage in the meantime, but that's it's a shame that it didn't work out for the poor guy. We're
expensive smoke is what that was.
Oh, a very expensive smoke, that's for sure. I guess he's going to be a little bit hurt after that one. On the upside, though, we saw 3 ultimates burned up by Mattistack, so they did invest quite a lot to find that round win, meaning that Valorando, it's not like their offense is completely broken.
Yeah, Valorant still have plenty of cash. I mean, most of their players are looking pretty healthy. Just the 1k on Sim 19 is the only one that's actually kind of hurting on cash, but I'm sure he has teammates to buy for him, and that becomes the case now. Instant wall up from both teams, actually. Look at the stacked up walls. Nicola has got revealed, so he's possibly the first one down here. KZY swings onto him and hits that one out of the ballpark. Pretty late rotation coming through from Timer. They might just want to wait for players to get a plant. Hasn't exactly come through, so Mattistack can just kind of work the clock a little bit. Now that we are in position to get into this retake, 2 players from Garage, 2 from the defender spawn. Time will use the Aldra to scout out early, and now we're going in, Mitch.
And the 1-for-1 trades to start it off. Things are looking good for Mattistack, but as they lose Matty and Jasmine, that is coming into danger. Taimu doesn't have the time to move and go in and get the defuse, so it's time to get on out of there. Valorando getting the round on the back of some very quick kills. The advantage there came to them in a sense because Jasmine was like 10 HP with no heals possible. Taimu has 2 players coming in, 1 from either side. No way to save that weapon without taking 2 fights. And unfortunately, he doesn't win the first, leaving Valorando on 5 rounds and Mattistack in a position where they can't afford to invest yet again, AVRL. This one's really starting to hurt them.
I think if Timer survives there with the Vandal in hand, maybe they force buy this one. They had a couple players still looking reasonable cash. I mean, Niso and Jasmine in particular, they have a little bit of money. They can maybe have 3 members on good buys, 2 members on kind of medium buys, possible SMGs being brought to play from Maddie and Nicola. But as it currently stands, it's pistols abound, except for Jasmine, who thought, hey, I started with 5k. Well, I drop a little bit of cash here to make this workable. That's one gun they desperately want to hold on to, though. Can a big flank from Niso do anything? He's in position to swing. Maybe just looking for information. A lot of walking, though, coming through from Valorando, so no rotations either means he doesn't suspect anything yet. Well, now he knows.
The problem with all those players stacked up on A, even with a little bit of noise made, is that they have no sight. And so they don't see when Valorando starts to move back in towards the middle angle, getting themselves in position to push up mid and presumably take B by the looks of their body language a second ago. But it's a late rotate to C long. That could cause them some problems. Nicola is tucked up close in the corner, and checking this might be a little bit unlikely, although they know they've given up the control for so long, so surely they do.
I know exactly where.
At least they're being a bit cautious as they move around, so they avoid getting completely ruined from behind.
Speaking of ruined from behind, Niso's been spotted out through courtesy of the neural theft, which means he can no longer flank towards long. That is a very important member to spot early. I don't know if he'll go for this one. He has a Bucky. He has to try and win versus 2 players. Gets a little bit of support. Teammate Jasmine, the top fragger, on his side, and the only player with an actual gun. And that gun leaves his hands instantly as Pam picks them both up. And what are you meant to do now if you're Mattistack? You lost Taimu as well. Matty's the only one alive. He has no real weapon to work with. He's going to get walked up upon. I'm almost certain that Valorando do not want to allow him to survive this one, even though, to be fair, he doesn't really have a gun worth saving. Oh, please, Matty, please hit that opening headshot.
Well, this is quite the flip around, isn't it, really? For Mattistack, the performance we saw from them in the previous game definitely made us confident in their ability, but although you can see the round history there on the scoreboard, unfortunately, I can tell you that Mattistack won the first round. They then faced off against an Eco and won that, although lost 2 players and allowed a spike plant. From there, though, Valorando have won, 6 of the last 8 rounds. Of those, 2 have been against weaker buys. So that's 4 convincing buy rounds versus 2 losses. One of those 2 losses was when Mattistack invested 3 ultimates. So really, at the moment, Mattistack have won basically nothing. They've got a couple rounds here and there that are once-offs. Nothing repeatable on the defense has been able to come through.
They're going to need to repeat something here. Because they got an opening kill at least. Pan takes himself down and Niso and Aslan to follow up. We're going to need to see a pretty heavy rotation. The reason they need to win this one is because their buy is they sit with their money against 3 players on minimal cash. Nicola barely has anything to work with either. Timer's going to try and open things up for the Hunter's Fury. He won't pick anything though, at least not for now. Jasmine, the teammate, does slightly better. The plant hasn't come in though, Mitch. That's the biggest problem we're seeing here. The biggest problem is now they might not get a chance to plant. Is this the magical round that Mattistack has been waiting for? technically, because it
It's
hasn't been
certain.
planted, they don't know where KZY is, and KZY can still maybe make something tricky happen.
And that is an advantage, I guess. He's going to jump out mid with his knife out, still survive somehow, has a heal. So he's only lost a little bit of armor. And he might be able to get onto C and plant. He hears the steps, though, close to the window. Was baited into thinking that player was going to rush on through and give him an opportunity. It looks like this is going to be the end of it. I don't think KZY gets a chance. Has to win this fight up close left and doesn't even see Jesman. But a much better round, all in all. Mattistack come in and they show us at least a defendable round that is repeatable. Something they can come in with again and again. Jesman had to have a big performance. He stepped it up with a 3K, but delivered. Again, -1 ping, which is... Well, they see what you do before you even think about doing it. That's pretty impressive.
Only by a
that's
ping
UI.
of 1, though. It's a very minor advantage, but only by a ping of 1. I don't know, like in real life, if you had a ping advantage of 1, I don't know how much that would help anybody, but -1 ping versus 0 ping, obviously this isn't real, guys. If you're watching this, we're not being serious, but just entertaining the thought here. Timer is not going to find an opening click this round, and I think that was very important last round. Getting that first pick onto Eddie, the information that gives you nothing's happening towards C. They start rotating members over towards A, and that was what really led to a successful defense, and we'll see if any early action occurs here. Let's see a bit of early movement from KZY into double doors.
Well, that was a very aggressive play to make with the healer. I don't know if I like that on Sage, but at least he 1-for-1s the other Sage, taking heals completely out of the round. But if he takes anybody else down and falls, that's a huge disadvantage to play around.
These guys just want to make sure we're playing a clean game of Counter-Strike where there's no heals available, like the way it should be, right, Mitch? That's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Can't say the same about the other abilities, though. It's the showstopper online here for Jesman, who, again, has been a major fragger on his team. I believe he's the only member on double digits right now in terms of kills. He may find a bit of contact here over towards attacker's spawn. Speaking of which, time is about to get a whole lot of heat coming in this direction. Swings over towards the left, but Sim19 will be there first. As a plan eventually does come on through. Plan, he's the guy that has the opportunity, because he is an unknown player right now. He's unaccounted for Mattistack. Don't know where he's playing. 2 players over towards long. They've given up the site for now. They'll play for the post-plant offsite entirely. Who's this, though? Sim19. They need to start looking through the actual smoke itself. He actually died through the smoke. That's so unfortunate.
Pan's got so much to do going forward with the satchels, but like nothing. When you jump through a nade like that, no, it's never going to go your way, unfortunately.
2 survivors here, Jesman and Niso. Pan, again, he was unaccounted for. He was an unknown player, but it comes in at a time where the rest of his 2 teammates can't really do much from long. Again, he gets smoked off. At that point in time, you need information. Sim19, he had the camera available, I believe, on C, so he's trying to tag somebody to allow him to shoot through the smoke, and that's really all they had to work with. Pan as well trying to retake, or rather trying to play that post-plant, close angles with the operator, not ideal. 6 and 6, rescued. You gotta say, despite how many rounds went the way of Valorando, this is actually very even. You probably didn't expect the Mattistack were going to bring it back that convincingly.
Considering how they played early on, AVRL, I really wouldn't have expected that. No, like, as we mentioned, basically the 3 of the rounds when it was up, 6-4, 3 of the rounds were just once-off. Pistol round, eco, and then 3 ultimates that work out. Not something you can do every single time. But they figured it out in the end. They've given themselves at least enough room to work with, and look at the early aggression here by Valorando. Sim19 straight up long, had support as well coming through from the jet, and on the back of that, they just bail himself and Aslan, happy with the 2-man advantage they've pulled into play for Valorando.
Okay, well the lurk from Taimu ends up paying off over towards B. This is now slightly more workable for Mattistack. I think 3 versus 5 would have been too difficult. 3 versus 4 is possible. Taimu doesn't realize there's 2 players right in his face now over towards A-Link. I think if Taimu can just work around this, he'll maybe discover something. He's just going to drone this one out. I don't even realize if Valorando realize that we have players on site. We got to know now. Sim might have gotten a 3rd one, but he'll need to try and collect a couple more kills. There's been no plant coming through just yet here. Mattistack's still alive. 1 player is potentially quite low now. Matty on 48 HP takes on Aslan in a 2v2.
Spike down, shots landing. I mean, realistically, as soon as Matty falls, that round is over with Jesmond on 1 health. And over it is as Valorando pick up the pistol round, something they were lacking in the previous. They put themselves in the lead. Mattistack did manage that spike plant, as you saw, with the defuse in the end. And so potential to go in for a force buy is there. They wouldn't actually have any sense of a disadvantage, really. Both teams would have a pretty even buy-up.
Oh, they're doing it.
So, yeah. I'm not too surprised to see that, really. And the question, the problem is, really, if Mattistack lose this round, they then go behind massively. They're at least down on 9-6.
You do best.
That could be true potentially for both teams here. Maybe less so for Valorando because they actually hold on to 2 pistols there. Pan and Aslan are just opting for the ghost this time around. They still have a reasonable amount of cash to work with. But it does mean there will be vulnerabilities where they play. The B side looks to be where the aggression will be made. Recon data is not going to see anything for now, but it will be an instant tank. Look at this Mattistack just rushing onto the site, and the first 2 responders are going to be coming through from A Link. They have only the pistols in front of work their way in aggressively. 3 members down, as quick as you like, and this defense is falling apart fast here. 1 now, Sim, big gear in the last round, 4 kills, will have 0, and only 1 member went down, Niso, and the rest stay alive.
We said it was a risk, and it certainly paid off as Mattistack pull it up now 7-7, keeping themselves in a nice old spot to continue on fighting. And honestly, the Bulldog, I feel like we just don't see it enough. I absolutely love the weapon. It feels great. When I first used it, I vowed never to pick it up again. Well, I was once left in a position then where I had a choice between a classic or a Bulldog after we'd killed someone. I picked it up, gave it a shot. It just doesn't feel intuitive. But once you actually get used to the ADS, it's fantastic. You can do things like that and just ruin your opponent's day.
Sometimes you just got to keep that gun in the leash to try and really control that recoil. KZY is going to pick up for himself a free weapon, but will they use this one for a retake? Because A has for sure now been lost. Just the 2 defenders alive now coming through from Valorando. Don't suspect that Eddie and KZY will be able to do too much damage. Maybe if Eddie can just find a couple of opening headshots here, steal away a gun from the player playing underneath heaven. That is Mattistack right now surely puts up 8 onto the board, especially with Niso's headshot. KZY, I don't think he's going to go for this one.
You can see by his very passive play that he'll be carrying that weapon, or trying to carry that weapon through to the next round. Matty's leaving the site towards the attacker spawn, so he won't be denied it by anybody else. So KZY brings forward a rifle, well, a Spectre. I wouldn't quite say a rifle. Up for Mattistack, another on the board, retaking the lead. And this has been an immensely scrappy game versus what we're used to seeing, certainly. Like, there is literally the most rounds we've seen 1 in a row so far has been 2.
We'll see what kind of lead we can start to make with this one. If Mattistack indeed on the second half can start to get away with it a little bit more. The buy isn't great coming through from Valorando, and I think they're still suffering from the fact that, again, they lost to the second round of this half, where you probably didn't expect Mattistack to fully purchase up and force that one, and certainly Valorando didn't expect it. They had 2 players on pistols, and they're feeling the consequences of that still now, in terms of the money being punished. A double operator set up on the defense between Pan and Aslan. That's over towards mid-B and C-Long, but C-Long sees nothing. Aggression over towards potentially A. Spike being hovered over towards B. And it's going to come down to Sim 19 to hold.
Cage trigger.
Well, the cage goes up as he's protecting himself a little bit on the crossover. Mattistack looking to swing on through with Niso. Not spotting anybody immediately, though. They cleared out the right side. That's the most important part. Now they can focus up their attention towards the side itself. Pan with a good nade over. And it's the ultimate that actually trades him out. Finding that opening is valuable, but not when Sim 19 and Eddie keep on fragging. Pulling it back into a 2v2. The problem here for Sova is that he's so low, they just tickle him to death. And so Niso's got to pull it all back with a Bulldog in hand and 2 opponents to find. He knows one was up above in the window. No idea about the Jet, who's now in position op in hand, and Aslan's waiting for that peek to come on out. I don't think Niso gets away with this. Oh, actually, Aslan's gone back a little bit. Obviously not aware of whether Niso could be towards the left side. Or their left side, I suppose, down towards the default plant. Yeah, still hasn't picked up that spike. Oh, noise made. Picking up that operator. Gave away his position, and Aslan was quick to react. 8-8.
Still, we're going to see very back and forth games. You said it, Mitch, but we haven't seen a single team go more than 2 rounds up yet, so it doesn't seem like it's going to happen just yet, at least after 16 rounds. Number 17 about to come up, and no team has realistically got that much in the bank. You're seeing after buys, you're still just hovering somewhere between, you know, the 800s or, you know, even 100 for Taimu here. Max on his team is a 2200 for Nicholas, so it's not a lot they're working with. Both teams could be in a lot of financial duress if they end up losing this particular round, and heavy aggression now moving towards C.
Deploying drone.
Oh yeah, this is the most aggressive early round we've really seen from Mattistack so far. They are heavy committing in towards this. Decent angle here by Eddie. He's not cut off by the boom bot. Good spray for 2. Near side, it has to back off and is punished on the way out. Still though, that early start for Valorando was great. Pulled further by KZY onto Matty, and now Mattistack decide that as their fearless leader falls, it's time to look somewhere else.
Pan's going to drop the operator over towards mid, so maybe Niso can recover this one forward. Technically, the spike is still in the hands of Taimu. They can make something happen in this particular round. And whose neural theft was that? That was the attacking team. Mattistack want to commit to this one, Mitch. They are putting in the resource. If another player dies here, it's all over, but they really want to make the 2v3 workable. They have the time. 40 seconds will be enough, but they have to link up here. Taimu is currently not with his team. He's by himself. If he drops the spike, it's not going to be able to happen for them this round. One onto Aslan, though. I think the 2v2 is possibly winnable now.
They've definitely done the work. This flank from KZY, though, might just undo all they've worked for. He snuck into the alley. The swing, the timing is perfect. There goes the bomb. The spike down. Taimu deleted in the open, and Niso has to stick this. He's got to go all the way with the spike plant. He does so, but now they know exactly where he is. On the fade, back catches a headshot, but the downside of the Phantom, as the headshot was returned by Sim on the double, leaving Valorando to get a defuse and a 9th round on the board. And so we maintain the rule of this game so far. You may not win a 3rd round in a row. It's 2 now for Valorando. We'll see if Mattistack can break the curse.
Valorando have 5 ultimates here as well to work with after feeding over the ultimate charge of the defuse over towards the Sage player of KZY. You have to really credit Mattistack to say that, hey, even in a very tough situation, they brought it to the possibility of winning at 2 versus 2. They got the plant down. Unfortunate that Taimu ends up being the first casualty in that 2 versus 2. Otherwise, I think that was certainly going to be a good position for them to work with now moving into round number 18. Still got the operators in hand. Aslan, a very aggressive angle. Is he going to get rewarded, though?
This is the benefit, really, of playing the Jet. Something we haven't seen a lot in the beta stage in the 1.0. It was always a raise, really, that would take that that op in play. But once you've got Jet, well, you can just zip on in and out of those angles. Pan able to catch the drone off. Here goes the boost. Rocket through, and a kill to Jasmine, but the drone is so quick from Niso. Avoiding planting the spike, though, in the meantime, and then getting dropped. That spike down, smack bang in the middle of B. And Matty and the stack of the boys gonna have to do quite a lot to get back in here now.
Pretty sure Nicola's going to be dead pretty soon, and there it is, Sim19. The instant headshot will be responded to by Matty. Now we're going to hunt him down. Where's Matty possibly playing? Is he on the other side of the wall? He actually was. I don't know if Eddie realized that or not. Certainly he suspected it. And now back into a 1 versus 1. Taimu was in a very tough spot last time. He wasn't able to win the 2v2 situation. He's got 3 HP now. The resurrection is going to come through for KZY to make sure that the Valorando team is going to be able to collect this round. 2 players alive versus just this over now. 3 HP. Taimu only on a Spectre. Doesn't even have the spike, Mitch. 15 seconds. This is not going to happen.
No, walking through is slow as well. Definitely doesn't help his chances as KZY swings through to take that one. They have finally done it. Valorando, 3 rounds in a row. Not even versus an eco. You've got to admire it. And now they might even make it 4. As Mattistack, they're investing lightly. A stinger in play for Taimu. That's a weapon you don't see every day.
Pretty underrated, I suppose. I am starting to really enjoy the Stinger a little bit more in terms of the pure value that it brings. It's got ammo problems, I'll admit that. It's got range problems, I'll admit that as well. But if you can get one kill and trade up your gun, that's exactly what you want to be using that weapon for in Valorando now. Really are seeing the win in their sights in terms of winning this map overall. They're 2 in the lead. They've got double digits as well. The operators are still in play. And Aslan's done the work he needs to. He's scared off Mattistack from pushing into him at all.
Oh, Eddie caught them off guard slightly. What angle the one we saw before?
Jesus!
The 3K goes to the shorty for more. Doesn't light Jesman up for all that much, unfortunately. The downside of the shorty, but wow, what a hold with a Spectre. Sim's position is perfect. He's not looking the right way. It's cut off, but still wins the duel. And what a round. Mattistack, they almost had it. It was looking okay, but then, oh, it turned on its head pretty damn quickly.
Oh, they ran at full speed, didn't they? We heard them. We were silent during that phase because, to be honest, I was wondering, okay, are Valorando going to be able to make that rotation happen? Or rather, Mattistack was trying to make that rotation happen. Valorando were in position. Eddie was tucked in, around Dragon, into Garden. Finds 3 with a Spectre, heard all the footsteps. I didn't expect him to be able to transfer onto everybody. If he had a better sidearm there, maybe he wasn't playing the shorty, he could have connected onto a 4th kill for sure, as Matty now would desperately try and plant. He should probably think about putting down smokes here if he wants to go for this one, but he's not trusting himself. He's not trusting that he can make it happen over to the site with the kill to KZY. He'll do it now. And the 2 versus 1 is on. This is the position now with Matty. He can get out, he can teleport away, collect that gun over towards Garage, hope that no one's there to cover him, and that would be the win condition.
Oh, is he going along? So at this point, it looks like he's very much gambling on them playing a much more aggressive style coming in through those smokes, but they wait for them to fade. And on 61 health, he hasn't really got a chance in this one. Has to hit the headshots, grab the tag to the shoulder of Aslan, and so it's just not enough. Valorando walk away with that round win, and you've got to say, really, there's no way that they ever win that one unless Eddie steps it up in the way he did. An absolutely insane performance.
I honestly thought Eddie was going to get 1. He was going to get 1-for-1 trade, and that would be good enough to allow Valorando to maybe rotate some members over to C, go for that retake, do something with that site, but it was basically 1 off of the 3K coming through from Eddie and just the rest of the members there, closing the door onto Mattistack, who, again, you credit them for being able to maybe recover a little bit there. Maybe if Matty can pick up a weapon, he finds a way to win the 1v2. This is what Omen can do. Omen can win in those types of situations. Now looking for number 12. Aslan, again, peeking up aggressively in mid.
Blocking sight.
I think they know that he's been doing this. The barrel's spotted here, but no opportunity to take him down just yet. Matty walks around a little bit unaware of what was going on, and so Aslan at least gets the trade on his teammate who's fallen. The problem is, yet again, though, that's the Sage out of the game. When he's out of the round early on, there's a massive advantage towards your opponents.
So the 1-for-1 trade there, and you can start to see the Sage value being brought to the table now as Mattistack heals up their only low member, courtesy of Nicola there, as we start to make some movements over towards C. It'll be a pretty split offense here, 2 players still kind of lurking over towards A, not just the one as Taimu makes his way over to the rest of his teammates, and it's up to Eddie again. Eddie versus 3 players. Basically what we saw previously. Cold feet, though, I think, from Mattistack. They not feeling too great about their chances on C, or maybe they'll at least try and go for the garage.
Kill my allies.
There's Matty getting raised back up from the dead in towards second mid as they move in the doors. The smoke in play. Matty already bringing value to the table, but it's Niso with the duel to Aslan that pulls them ahead by quite a bit. Eddie falls and C is open. The plan's easily found, and Sim19, well, he's had some good rounds, but man, I don't think a 1v4 is the way to go, especially not when there's an operator he might be able to save. Oh, he doesn't actually manage to dodge the short side, so he gambles no one's here with a knife out, running to A to save over that weapon. And he's created quite a lot of space at this point. I like the idea to pick up the tripwires as well. There's another behind him. There's one behind him there he could just grab if the round ends up panning out his way in terms of finding these kills and retreating back towards that angle. He takes down Niso. Now focused towards that A site. That's going to catch him.
Yeah, oh, here we go. Timer call! No, dude, you gotta watch out for those. I don't think Sim19's done a lot of damage here. Yeah, look, this was now going to be a round that I expected Mattistack to hold onto 5 weapons, 5 members. They even resurrected into this one. That's how badly they wanted to make sure that we're going to confirm the round. They get the round, but gun-wise, not so clean. And why does that matter? Well, look at the money here. They're still really down in the dumps. It's not looking comfortable. How are you supposed to win 3 more rounds in a row? Well, you know, I would expect that you got to win at least 2 more rounds in a row to even match Valorando. And Valorando will be a match point in 1, so they got to do a lot of work to be able to make this one really, really good for Mattistack. And the way to go for that would be to make sure their economy is safe.
Mattistack grouped up. They're playing that really tight composition that you like to see when it comes towards these kind of rounds. You don't want to leave any space. Make sure that even if somebody falls, you're able to trade that out. This close to a loss, they don't want to allow any room to Valorando. You can see B is going to be their focus. They have lots of utility to work around. Valorando still in position, haven't really been flushed back from this. And on the back of the site, looking to do some damage. I think could be in a lot of trouble though. No, it's Sim that falls, but a good trade. And not having to use any abilities to do so. Gets up on top of the site, and a third in play after the nade takes down Nicola. What is this? Things are spiraling out of control. A 4K for Pan. Valorando pulling this round out of absolutely nowhere. An invisible grenade thrown by Pan, looking for the ace down bottom mid. Not giving it.
Oh, yeah, maybe another second there. Maybe if Matty just picked a little bit more. And look, Matty could have been a bro there, giving that one over, but they need the money. They need the gun. They need to make sure that they salvage some players still alive here. He'll be the richest member on his team now. He'll have to try and really buy for his teammates. Valorando are on match point, which means Mattistack have to pull out all the stops now. This is what they were trying to avoid, and Mattistack needed to win multiple rounds in a row. They are going to now need to win 3-4 rounds in a row. 3 rounds just to get to the 12, just to force the OT. And the 4th one to actually confirm this map itself. It's a long road ahead. Valorando are on the warpath, and this is an important game for Valorando to win. It's going to be the teleport coming through. Rhyme shut down. Sorry, not Rhyme. That was Matty shut down.
Oh no, kill after kill goes the way of Valorando. This could be the end of the line for Mattistack and Nicola, trying to pull it all the way back by himself. 2 kills on the board. The Sage keeping them in the dream for now. Still having to get that spike planted, but looks like they'll do so successfully. Tucked in nicely down below. There it is, as Cypher pulls it through. And he's going to be the first point of contact, supported by the Sage as they rush on forward. Aslan gonna drop with them. It's a brave play. One that can work. Actually, not the drop. The dash through to the back. Nicola got distracted. Great shots by Aslan. But Niso in a 1v3 almost has it. And a 3rd headshot to pull them across the line. Absolutely insane play by Niso as Mattistack stay alive for 1 round longer, putting themselves to double digits.
13 HP is what he survived on there, Mitch. Insane by Niso to pick up that last play. You thought it was maybe over. Valorando had started closing that window of opportunity for Mattistack to come back in this. And now, it seems that much more possible. They're not out of the fire yet. They're still in trouble. Still 2 difficult rounds ahead to reach that OT, but you have to believe that maybe this next one is surely theirs. You look at the money situation Valorando on a eco. They got the sheriffs out. If Mattistack don't win this one, that they don't deserve to win this comeback at all. In fact, they won't be able to. They've literally lost. So Mattistack, opportunity presented itself, and now can they claim it?
Well, they've certainly pulled that one out of nowhere. I'm still shaking after that from Niso. They're walking right into 3 players towards the C site, but as KZY finds the opening, it should be much harder to find more. Jasmine pulling it back a little bit, grabbing himself a double pan. Oh, the nade, that could be good for damage, at least to push a player into the open. Good damage connected. Oh, or not quite, actually. It wasn't as deep as I thought. Never mind. But a man advantage nonetheless. The spike on that site. Matty trying to pull back. Switches over to the Vandal as well in the open. A bit of a dangerous play, but one that might just pay off, as he's now got a much better weapon. Niso's just on fire, man.
I think Matty was looking for a reload there. Maybe he was running out of the ammo. Pan's the last one alive. He's not going to be able to do too much. Niso will confirm with the classic, and that is going to be the Fame will deliver on board for Mattistack and even the plant there to guarantee a little bit more money, but you had to sweat just a little bit. Valorando got 2 very quick pistol kills.
Goes there.
They slowed things down. You even saw Pan throwing out the grenade there, the paint shells that nearly connected onto Matty, made things very, very difficult for Mattistack to work with. And now, possibly, I was going to say the most important round of the game, but technically that would be number 25 if we get there. And the if we get there really rests upon the shoulders of whether Mattistack can make this one work. They've managed to make at least the last 2 work. This one's going to be tough as well. Double operator setup, Aslan and Pan.
Cage triggered. I have retrieved the spike.
Well, the Sova here has just managed to retrieve the ultimate orb down on C-Long. That's going to stand to Taimu now in the coming rounds. Eddie with the Molotov to slow them. It lands, but there's Taimu opening it, almost catching KZY with another tag as well. And that is huge, with Niso on the flank. Now they've spotted them all out. Oh, in comes Jet. Nicola got caught off guard. Now they've got no heals to work around. Aslan back to the operator after using his knives up and getting himself that nice early advantage. Can take the close range fight. Now rocket through. There's a kill, and they're pulling it all the way back. Valorando do it in literally, if you blinked, you would have missed that flurry of frags as they pull it off 13-11 and just about claim that series. But what a fight from Mattistack towards the end.
Exactly. Mattistack made the one really interesting, didn't